Good evening, everybody. I'll just give it a second for everybody to jump in. And if you're early to the program tonight, let me know where you're from, because I truly believe that you have been drawn to this class for a reason. And I believe that there's light workers out there all across the world. And I'd love to know where you're plugging in from, because everything is energy, including every single one of us. And when we come together in that unified field, we create a unified energy. And so welcome from Rochester, New York. Thank you. Yeah, Steve, there's no music on tonight. I'm going to be talking. Hi, Nicole from Toronto. So we got Canada. Oh, Kelly from Nova Scotia. Hey, honey. Thank you. And thank you, Steve, for being my sound guy. Texas. I love it. Hi, TJ. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Kathy, in my own hometown, Calgary, well, home city. It's really wonderful to see where everyone is plugging in from, because tonight we are going to be talking about my favorite topic, besides talking about angels, energy, because everything is energy. Oh yes, and before we get started, Steve, my wonderful friend, has posted all of my next classes if anybody is interested, because I do teach both in Calgary and thank you, TJ. I love that you love my classes. I teach also in Calgary in my studio in here. And yes, when I do my meditations in here, other people can sit under my pyramid or lay under it and meditate. But I also teach online as well. And I am going to be teaching, probably the only one in studio this year, remote viewing and psychic development. My weekend workshop is the weekend of Friday, June 21st. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That one, it's amazing. It's packed with so much information. You'll walk out of here a completely different person, blown away. I teach as much as I possibly can. So welcome to my studio. If you are in Calgary, I would love for you to join me. And if not, I do teach psychic development online as well, for anyone who can't join me in studio. So welcome. All right, so let's get into the juicy topic of understanding energy and the impact it has on your life. So I want to go back a little bit to when I didn't know this stuff and how it came to be that not only did I learn it, but I have experienced it. So before I was, I guess I've always been psychic. As a child, I could predict death, and my parents thought that it was evil. It wasn't. I was a nurse in training, and that's what I did before I jumped over and changed my career to a psychic medium. I was a palliative oncology nurse, and one of the things that I could do was predict a patient's death almost right down to the minute of when they were going to take their last breath, because I could see the energy coming out of the body. I could take one look at their body and see, where the cancer was, what ailments was going on, where they needed the most attention. To me, it was an energy that I could see and I could feel, and I just knew. But at the time, I honestly thought every nurse knew how to do that. I thought it was maybe part of the training. I don't know. It was something that I didn't equate necessarily to being psychic. And so, to cut a long story short, how I jumped over into this career, it's all part of the journey. And this is where, you guys, we have to learn to, my favorite saying is bless the BS, because it's fertilizer for your dreams. So ever since I was a child, I've had something called erythromelalgia. It's a genetic disorder that's neuromuscular, or sorry, not neuromuscular, oh, I don't know why that word is eluding me right in this second, but anyways, it messes with my sodium channels. My sodium channels don't close. So it's like I have too much electricity in my body. And it's like my sensory nerves are heightened, and it can cause neuropathy. So it took me off my feet from nursing. It got so bad that I ended up 2 years basically in bed, hating life, very, very negative. The heaviest I ever was, I was 210 pounds. And when I was walking, it was with a cane. It was very, very painful. And I knew something needed to change. But it's a matter of how bad does it almost need to get before you finally look up and look in. Because in that time of despair and pain, that's when I started to look within and look at my connection to God, look at angels, all of that. I was brought up as a Christian, and this isn't about religion. Religion to me is just a school of thought, a school of faith, a way for us to learn that there's something more, but there is so much more. And I truly believe that there are many, many different kingdoms up there. And it isn't just one path leads back home. I believe there's many paths back home. I believe it's a vibration, and I'll get into that. But when I was at my worst, that's when I started praying. And looking back now, everything I prayed for, I was given. I was given the answer on how to heal my health. I walked in to buy a book to a holistic wellness center in Calgary called Our Angels Center for Wellbeing. And if you're from Calgary, maybe you remember it. And I loved it. It was my favorite little new age shop in Calgary. And I ended up talking to Ellie Jumart, who was the owner at the time. And I had just started doing readings, realizing that, other people didn't have what I saw. Because when I started predicting things, they would come to pass. And being able to read people's energy or read their thoughts, read their life, I honestly thought everybody could do that. Because to me, I wasn't seeing, dead people walking through walls or hearing disembodied voices. It was a knowing. It was a knowing, almost like a memory, looking back on a memory. Or if I was to ask you guys, what's your favorite movie and who's in it? Remember back to that movie and then tell me about it. That's what it felt like. Like I was looking back at the memory of something I've watched, and I'm just letting you know how the story goes. And then it just so happens to be correct. That's where it's a little freaky. And I got talking to Ellie about buying something like that, owning something like that. Because I was a nurse. I had never done retail or anything. I didn't even know how to use a cash register at the time. And she says to me, she goes, well, it's interesting that you're asking because I just decided to retire. Literally 2 days ago, both my husband and I are going into retirement, and we're going to become snowbirds and live in Phoenix. And she's the one, interestingly enough, who introduced me to Sedona and the magic and the vortexes and the energy that's in Sedona. And that's the biggest reason why I do retreats in Sedona, is because of the energy that's there. It's so profound. It's super easy for me to open people up and show you guys' gifts because the energy supports it, right? So anyways, that day, I ended up buying Our Angels on a handshake, to cut a long story short. And it was at Our Angels Center for Wellbeing that had the Rife machine that I talk about all the time. And if you have never heard of Rife therapy, look into it, because it's the reason why I'm back healthy, vibrant, in nowhere near the pain that I was. I can feel my legs again. They're not numb. And Rife therapy, through my illness, not only did it teach me that there are ways to heal that modern medicine isn't supporting, but it taught me a lot about energy. And it helped me to understand who I was, the universe, who you are, all of it. Literally, it taught me that much just by healing my body using frequencies. And I believe it was Nikola Tesla that said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And you can absolutely heal using frequencies. So Rife therapy, it is the most genius thing in the world because you're using the frequency, the vibration of the ailment against itself in order to heal. Let me give you an example. So if you think of the way doctors get rid of kidney stones, what they do is they take the vibration of the kidney stone, they match it to the kidney stone, and it's called a mortality oscillation rate, or a MOR. It finds that MOR rate, fires it at it, it oscillates, it blows up, and guess what? You pee out your kidney stone. Well, you can absolutely shatter cancer cells using frequency. You match the vibrational frequency of the cancer cell, and you're going to blow it up. Then you've got to detox it and get it out of you. So there's frequencies for that. So just like you can kill a pathogen, a virus, now even think of this. Frequencies are so cool that when we had a mice problem in our garage, guess how we got rid of it? The most ethical, moral way that every single person should, because we've never had a mice problem again. So take this to heart. There's frequencies that mice can't stand. So there's these little frequency boxes that you can plug in to just a regular plug. You can't hear it. It's on a frequency that you can't hear, but the mice can. And the mice don't go near your house. You'll never have to set up a mouse trap and kill something again. There's a moral way to do it. Use it through frequencies. And it absolutely works because we had a crazy bird at our camper last summer. And it was a crazy robin that went from camper to camper to camper, just pounding on the windows, literally smashing into the windows. None of us knew what that was about. So I'm thinking, okay, if there's a frequency device for mice, there's gotta be one for birds. Sure enough, there was. Sure enough, there was. So that's what we used to deter the robin. You don't have to hurt it or kill it or relocate it and capture it and give it a heart attack and relocate it. Frequencies, frequencies. Think of frequencies for everything. Nikola Tesla was a genius. Nikola Tesla and Royal Rife were actually alive at the same time, and both of them thinking along the same lines. Now, which brings me to my next thing. So, did you know that at the same time Thomas Edison involved the light bulb, there was 9 or 10 other patents for the exact same invention? And it was from all over the world. There was a bunch of them from all over the world. So these guys had never spoken before or explained each other's methods or inventions, right? So where all of a sudden did they download? Did they get these ideas from? Well, here's the thing. You and I are both energy. At the end of the day, everything you see in front of you is vibrating energy. Nothing really truly is solid, even though it sure feels like it, right? Well, your thoughts also have energy. And if you think about it, we are constantly sending and receiving signals all day long. Think of your body as a radio transmitter. And every time you have a thought, you are literally transmitting an energy. And our thoughts, ourselves, our mind, body, soul, is connected to that unified field, that divine mind, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, Akashic records. That also is where everything is held, right? So we're all connected to it. We all have access to it. And I know this because I teach it, you guys. I teach this. And the more you practice it, the more you'll see for yourself that anybody and everyone has access to this information. Well, if the universe is constantly sending and receiving signals from us and to us, there's a divine mind that decides at a certain point, okay, this universe is ready for this idea. And all of a sudden, it's almost like it'll flood the skies with this idea of a light bulb, right? The world was ready for electricity. It was ready for a light bulb. And so that idea came through the channels of Thomas Edison and the other people that downloaded it and then got a patent for it, carried it through. Every single idea that this universe had, has, and is going to have is available to all of us. But it's what are we aligning with? Back in the day when, Thomas Edison was inventing the light bulb, I'm sure he spent 24/7 studying that method, studying how to do it, how it works, everything. His mind was on it. When he was sleeping, he was probably dreaming about it, right? Because when a divine idea comes in, it's like it has to come to fruition. Well, if it's a weak transmission coming in from the universe, you'll think of it and then not follow through. But that idea was still available to you. And that's where sometimes you go, oh, I thought of that. Why didn't I do that? I thought of that, right? It's available to all of us. It's just our thoughts, when they become our actions, become our reality. And this is how we manifest in this 3D world. Your thoughts are very, very, very powerful, because when they're in divine alignment, you get these amazing downloads, these ideas that just seem to drop in, right? So how do you get into divine alignment? Well, I truly believe that, yes, there's a lot of different kingdoms out there. So think of them as radio stations, right? And think of different gods or different planes of existence as the different tune-ins. Your receiver has to be in alignment with that transmission in order to receive it, right? So if our thoughts are vibrating way down here, listening to the shitty committee, excuse my French, but if we're listening to nagging and obsessive compulsive thoughts all day and negativity and full of hate and anger, that's exactly what we're going to be vibrating at. And when we are sending that out, guess what is going to come back to us? Because the universe matches our energy every single time. What we put out there, it will come back to us. So there's a lot of low energy out there in the world right now. You see it on the news, you see it in the movies, you see it with the pop singers even, and the music videos, very, very dark stuff. So let's talk a minute about spiritual warfare and spiritual attacks and psychic attacks, because all of that stuff is very real. Now, how does it work? How does it make it through to a person? So let's go back to Rife therapy for a second. So like I said, if you can heal and treat through using frequency, you can also hurt, maim, and destroy using frequency. So just like you can use healing frequencies that are beneficial, you can use destructive frequencies. For example, destructive but good. Just like seismologists use to blast through the side of a mountain. They will use the mountain's frequency at itself, and then it blows up the rock, right? If you know the vibration of what you're looking for, you'll find it. You'll absolutely find it. And that's what I mean about Rife therapy teaching me a lot, because my mind went, whoa, when I figured out how that stuff works and how frequencies affect us every single day. So with a psychic negative attack, it is, it's using frequencies that are way down here instead of beneficial ones that are way up here. And I think I just realized why I'm having a hard time articulating this class here tonight. It's because I'm wearing my DefenderShield scarf. I'm gonna have to take this off of me as I explain it. So one of the things that I found after being psychically attacked myself, and I couldn't shake it, a psychic attack, you feel like crap. You can't get a grip on your thoughts. It's like you can feel like someone's staring at you all the time, but no one's there. It's a very spooky, very awful feeling that it is, no matter what you do, you sage your house and you can't shake it. You know, I had one of those a couple of years ago, and it was driving me mental. And that's when my girlfriend, one of my friends, said to me, who's also a healer, she says to me, she goes, Patricia, have you not heard of DefenderShield? She said, oh my God, it blocks out everything. It blocks out 5G, EMF, all radiation, all of it. It's made of Faraday material, and it blocks out all transmission. And Faraday is actually what the police use in order, when they take a cell phone from a criminal or a laptop from a criminal, because it stops all transmission. And so she told me about something called a DefenderShield blanket. So I got one. Now, it comes in 3 different sizes. This is the one I have at my office for if I feel like I need to just disconnect from anything. And the minute I put it on me, it makes your body tingle. It's like, ah. And when I felt that, it was like, wow, how low must a psychic attack be? Probably on the same vibrational level as 5G and EMF, because those things aren't good for you either. So I became a huge fan of DefenderShield, such a huge fan that I wrote to them and asked Daniel DeBon, who's the creator of DefenderShield, if I could interview him on my YouTube channel. So when I send out the recording of this class tomorrow, I'll send you guys out that interview as well, because it was pretty cool. He explained all of it, how it not only came to be, but exactly everything that it blocks out. And it is flippin' amazing, because it almost feels like nature going through your body, because I honestly don't think in this day and age that anyone's really been around without, microwaves and satellite dishes and cell phone towers and all that stuff that's slowly frying us, right? It's, sorry, I'm gonna turn off the comments, because that's kind of distracting me just a little bit. But yes, Steve, he made it for his son. His son was going to university, and his son kept having his laptop on his lap, and he kept thinking, oh yeah, for the grandchildren. Yes, now I get the comment. Yeah, his potential grandchildren. He kept thinking, oh, that can't be good, that laptop sitting that close. And so that's when he first came out with the laptop tray, and now he's got the clothing line and everything. So this is why this scarf, when I take it off, I should be doing a better job of leading this class here tonight. So this is also DefenderShield, and it will shield me from everything, including my beneficial frequencies that help me channel and keep me on my toes, so I'm not stuttering like I normally do in my regular Patricia life. When in my normal day-to-day, I do stumble a lot on my words, but when I'm channeling my meditations or my classes, it just begins to flow, and I can feel my angels coming and stepping into my field and aligning my energy, and then boom, I'm back in that grace, that field of energy, instead of being wonky and all over the place. Oh my God, what a difference. Thank you. I didn't even think of taking the scarf off. Sorry, you guys. And if you didn't notice me stuttering on my words and really, really having to think before I say something, that's what it looks like for me. My brain was going like this. So now I should be a lot more centered. So, okay, Defender Shield. It immediately calms you down. It feels like all the stress and all the anxiety melts off of you. So it makes me wonder how much of that stuff sticks to our body. And if you think you can escape it by being in nature, nature, that's great. But guess what? Those satellites are up in the sky above us, right? Affecting us up and down. So we kind of can't escape it. So when I realized this stuff worked, I went and I got the scarf, I got the gloves, I got the laptop tray, I got everything, because even my fingers tend to go numb when I'm typing too much on my laptop, and it really affects me. Literally, my fingers go numb. So their stuff definitely works because my hands are fine when I'm wearing their gloves. It's a wonderful shield. I told him he's got to start making house coats because it's the first thing that I put on when I get home is my jammies and my house coat. So I really, really, really need to get Faraday material house coat made. So yeah, I'm pushing him to make a pajama line, even for kids. I mean, why not, right? Keep them protected at a young age. Okay, so yes, Kelly, capes. I actually have a Faraday cape. I'm not kidding. It goes down to, oh yeah, just a little bit past my waist, and it's really cute. It buttons up on the side. So yes, they do make capes. They make t-shirts, they make hoodies. Yeah, they make quite a bit. So definitely look into DefenderShield.com. That is who created all of this. The other thing that I wanted to say too, that protects your energy from 5G, radiation, all of that stuff, and that is just as important because it's just as draining. It really is. Like, for example, if you have too much EMF going off in your house, guess what it does? It mimics a haunted house. I'm not kidding, look it up. What are the symptoms of EMF poisoning in a person's house? And you'll see that people felt like they were haunted. They felt like they couldn't think straight. They couldn't sleep, and they were like this all the time, spooked out, freaked out. Why? Because psychic attacks and EMF, I think, basically have the same frequency. I really do. So it's awful, I think, what's happening. Technology can be wonderful and awful all at the same time. And which brings me to this. If you've never seen this before, because I noticed a whole pile of brand new names on the list tonight, and thank you for however you found me. Thank you. This behind me, I put it on the background of all of my in-person and online classes because of the energy that it emits. So what you're supposed to do is stand in front of it, and the hologram is now projected onto the body, and you can feel the energy going through you and shifting your auric field, shifting your energy on the inside. And if you even wave your hands through the air, you'll feel the frequencies in the air. It's really cool. So everything that's moving is tuned to a healing frequency that's embedded in the background of the hologram. So I like to try and amp up as many healing frequencies as I can, hence sitting under my pyramid with you guys, because like I said at the beginning, when we come together in unity in this time on this live, and we're all consciously connected and thinking of the same thing, we create a unified field and a frequency that's then embedded in the matrix. I know that sounds really weird, but it's honest to God true. It's recorded even more than just on this computer. So while we're still talking about technology, another couple things that I wanted to show you that are worth it, because I have spent so much money trying to figure out what works to shield EMF and 5G and all that, just because I'm so super sensitive to it. And this is another thing that I absolutely love. This is called the Total Shield, and it neutralizes 60,000 square feet. It's either 20,000 or 60,000. I can't remember. I know it is a big difference, but even if it's 20,000 square feet, that's huge. If it's 60, even better. But it neutralizes the energy of your whole house, your building, your whole neighborhood, and it's worth it. I can tell when it's off or when it's on, because we have a Rife machine, Rife therapy over in that room. We actually unplug this when the Rife therapy is on the go, just in case it disrupts the frequency of the Rife machine. Steve says, I think they have different sizes. I'm not sure. So I'm going to give you guys the website. It is brimhall.com. And I think it's actually brim-hall.com, or else it's www.brimhall.com. I haven't used it. I bought it quite a while ago. So, but it comes with me. I've got one at home and I've got one in my office. And like I said, I can tell when it's on and when it's not. I am so sensitive that you could blindfold me, put earplugs in my ear, and sit me in a room with a TV that's on, and then turn it off, and then turn it on and turn it off. And I'll tell you exactly when you're turning it on and when you're turning it off, because I can feel the frequencies change in the room. It's like there's a static in the air all of a sudden. So, and since everything is energy, so not just mind and body, but your spirit is as well, your consciousness. And so for anyone who is familiar with astral traveling or having an outer body experience, let me explain the energy of that one, because that stuff's very, very real. And if you've never heard of the Monroe Institute, I really suggest look up the Monroe Institute. They've got amazing mind-blown classes. They are the ones that trained the CIA and the FBI since the 1970s, late 70s, in remote viewing. They are also who trained me in remote viewing, and to date I found 35 missing people. So it works, it works, it works, it works. And if you really want your mind blown, you gotta go there. I went this past February to Faber, Virginia. I went to the original Monroe Institute because before that I learned from Paul Elder up here in Canada. But I wanted to go to the original for one in Virginia. And while I was there, I immediately picked up that the whole property is sitting on a vortex. So I knew that astral traveling was going to be even easier, because even the most vetted astral traveler will tell you it's still hard to get out. It doesn't happen every time that you try to do it. But the signs, how do you know? And how do you induce it? So at the Monroe Institute, they have something called hemisync, or binaural beats, and that's what they use. Binaural beats and hemisync is different tones, frequencies that you listen to that trigger the different parts of the brain to give you the desired response. So we'll say you want to astral travel. Well, astral traveling is easily accessible if you raise your internal vibration to the vibration of the exit. So when you're listening to the binaural beats and you're deeply in meditation, it's called mind awake, body asleep. You're literally tricking your body into believing that it's sleeping. All of a sudden, your body becomes very fuzzy. It feels like you become very staticky. And you can start to feel these waves going through you. It's literally like you're dematerializing. And you begin, for me, it was like I was sitting up. I know other methods can teach you how to roll out, sit up, go through the crown. For me, it was sitting up. And as it was happening, because I had tried a few times before when I was learning it, and this time I knew it was going to take. I was like, oh my God, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. Because I could feel all of the signs and symptoms of it. And when I looked down, next thing I knew, I'm staring at my body. And I knew instantly that I was out. So here's the thing, you guys, you've stared at your nose your whole life, right? You don't even realize it, that your nose is in everything that you see. Well, when you're out of your body, you have no nose. You are pure spirit, pure thought form. You travel at the speed of thought, you see at the speed of thought, but you also have almost like a 360-degree view of your sight. You see everything. And yes, you can walk through walls, and it feels like you're walking through a thicker, dense vibrational frequency, something that is, I don't know, thicker. Feels like thicker energy. Speaking of that, if you haven't seen the movie What Dreams May Come, you really should, because whoever wrote that movie channeled that movie. They talk and basically show what an outer body experience feels like. Because there's a part in the movie where Robin Williams, he's out of his body, he's learning to navigate his new soul out of his body, and he puts his arm like this through the wall, and he says, it felt like pudding. And it does, it feels like that when you're putting your arm through an object. And that's another way that I figured out how ghosts flicker lights, because I've done it when I was out of my body. So what you do is, we'll say this is the part that, this is your light switch, right? So what I would do if I'm out of my body is just go like this and wave my hands through the wires right above the light switch. You're disrupting the energy that's flowing through the wires that are connected to the light switch, so you will make the lights flicker. So it's interesting. I learned a lot learning about Rife therapy, because my mind went, oh, okay, if this is possible, is this how this works? And is this how this works? It's all connected, right? So TJ is asking, do you have to use headphones when listening to binaural beats? Yeah, you should. You should, because different tones come out of the different earbuds in order to balance the brain waves. And now if you're using it in your home, because I use it all the time in my office and in my home, and I got to tell you, your plants love it, your animals love it. Nobody fights at home anymore if you're using binaural beats for peace and tranquility. Yeah, you don't need to listen to it with headphones, but if you want to get that vibrational effect where you're really, you can feel it and it's going deep, definitely listen to it with headphones. Yes. Does anybody have any questions so far? Pop them up, because this stuff really is my favorite topic. I love talking about this stuff. I just hope I don't sound a little bit like I've lost my mind, because it's really mind-blowing when you experience it. Kathy says, I use it every night to sleep. Binaural beats are soothing. Yes. I'll tell you which one that I've been using. So the Monroe Institute, I love their technology. They're the original creators of hemisync and binaural beats. They're the ones who figured it out back in the 70s. And so I trust their stuff 100%. And they have an app called the Expand app. I don't know if will my camera let you see that? No. Okay, it's called the Expand app. Anyways, there is a meditation that I listen to every night for lucid dreaming. And that this particular meditation takes me out of my body so quickly, and I sleep like a baby. So I'll just type this in. So it's the Expand app, and it's by the Monroe Institute. So the app that I fall asleep with every night, and they even have ones for bilocation to teach you how to do bilocation, lucid dreaming, astral traveling. They got ones for everything. Okay, the one that I sleep with every night is this one. You can at least see the colors of it. And it's called Lucid Dreaming on the Expand app. And Expand is by the Monroe Institute. That one, if there's anyone out there that does have a hard time shutting off your mind and falling asleep, that one's definitely the right one for you. TJ, I've been listening for a couple of years. I believe you sent it to us in a class email, but never with headphones. I have not left your body but close. Yes, definitely with headphones. Yeah. And if you took my remote viewing course, chances are I sent you the remote viewing frequencies and astral traveling frequencies. So definitely listen to it with headphones. And you'll start to feel the waves of energy moving inside of your body. So wait for that and the fuzziness, and before you know it, and you can will yourself out of your body, right? Because the only thing is that if you get scared, it'll pull you right back into your body. You started to separate, excellent. So just allow it. And the thing is that you do this all the time. You just don't remember. How often do you remember your dreams, you guys? Right? And if you do remember your dreams, how often did they feel so real, like you were actually there? Was it a dream? Because we astral travel all the time at night. The other thing to look for is getting past the startle reflex. So, you know how babies have a really high startle reflex, like when they're sleeping, they'll go like this in their sleep? Yeah, that's because guess what? Their soul is hovering in and out of their body. And every time they get pulled back in, it startles them. Think of the flying dreams that you have, right? And you come back in, the falling dreams, and you startle yourself awake. Yeah, that startle isn't because you hit the ground, it's because your soul came back inside of your body, and that's exactly what it feels like. Yes, Kelly, she says, I feel like I'm falling through the bed. Yes, girl, you got it. Guess what? Welcome to the higher dimensions. Because the minute that you get out and you realize that you can direct your journey, your experience through your thoughts, you can go anywhere. You can literally blast yourself through to the highest dimension, and you can sit there and have an open conversation with Jesus himself. It's all out there, and it's not using your imagination, you guys. It's not that at all. It's literally like you're there. Literally, not visualization. It's the craziest thing. And if I didn't experience it, I wouldn't. God, it's changed my life since I have experienced it. So I really suggest all of you guys strive to have an outer body experience. And like I said, there's lots of different ways to do it. Binaural beats, meditation is one of them. Prayer, always say a prayer. Before I do any sort of astral traveling, I put on my protection. So back to the psychic attacks thing. So if you're not carrying your trusty DefenderShield blanket around with you at all times or wearing the scarf, how do you protect yourself? Well, like I said, psychic attacks are very real. Spiritual attacks are very real. Well, where is it coming from? Guess what? All those rumors about entities and demons and fairies and dragons and aliens, everything is out there. Everything is out there. And you will go to the vibration that which you are. So if you are in a bad place, don't try to astral travel. Don't try to astral travel. Clean your energy first, then go astral travel. The reason why I say that is, like I said, you will attract the vibration to you that which you are. And if you're in a bad way, you're going to experience those ankle biters that are on that level, and you don't want to experience that. So reset your energy, cleanse it, and then go and try and do it. But how do you protect yourself if you're out and about and all of a sudden one of those psychic attacks, you can feel it? So a psychic attack in the 3D, it is absolutely very real, that you can absolutely feel, and it doesn't necessarily need to be coming from a demon or an entity. It can be coming from your best friend that you ticked off, that loves you so much and has access to you energetically so much that instantly when they're mad at you, it's like, ooh, daggers. Every time you think of them, or they think of you. And the more that someone has access to you, now how would someone have access to you? Usually through love. Love is the greatest doorway. And love can come, it's a two-edged sword, right? Because none of us are perfect in this world. And usually when someone hates someone, they loved them at one point, or they really cared about the cause, about the person. You have to care in order to hate, or else you're indifferent. And to be honest, neutrality is the best energy that you can be in at all times. That is practicing non-attachment. Love is a huge carrier wave, but when it turns ugly, that huge doorway is still open until someone comes along and heals it or closes it. And this is why it's so easy to be hurt by the people that we care about the most, because we're more quantumly entangled, right? I want you to think now for a second about genetics. Think of two twins. Haven't you ever heard of when, two identical twins, one is on, in Canada, the other one's in China, one's in trouble or one got killed and the other one felt it immediately and they knew? Quantum entanglement. I was just having this discussion with one of my best friends the other day who had a baby, and I was watching her little daughter, and her daughter is only breastfed, no bottle, no soother. And so I told my friend, I said, okay, you hurry up, do what you got to do. And what was interesting is the baby was great for the first, we'll say, hour and a half, 2 hours. And then just when she started crying, my friend texted me, is everything okay? My milk just let down. She's like, my shirt is soaked. Is everything okay? I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. I just got to finish up here. And I roared laughing and went, oh my God, that's right. Quantum entanglement. Moms, all the moms out there that are watching this, think about when you were breastfeeding. When did your milk let down? When any baby cried. If any baby cried, if you even thought of your baby, your milk was letting down, right? Think about that. That's how powerful your thoughts are, as well as that's how quantumly connected we are to our children. We are on the same vibration of them because they are us. They're half of our vibration. So of course, we will know their cry and their call, and they'll know ours. So it's very interesting how even that shows how connected and how bonded we are. There was actually a study, I was reading up on this, and to me it was disturbing. But there was a study where these scientists took a mother rabbit, and flew the babies to the other side of the world and had the mother on the other side of the world, and then they killed the babies. And in the meantime, they had the mom's brain hooked up to all these electrodes. And apparently, right at the time that they were killing the rabbits' babies, the mom's brain was going crazy and she was losing it. And it bothers me because it's like, you had to do that in order to realize that, that hurt me hearing that someone did that. But it just goes to prove animals too. Everything is energy, and we're all part of the same unified field. So just as our bodies are connected, our souls can feel it. So with a psychic attack, how do you protect yourself? Me, I stop, drop, and pray. Instantly, I will put God's armor all over me, call upon my warrior angels, and suit up. And I cleanse my energy as quickly as I possibly can. How I do that, I will close my eyes and see a beautiful golden shield, light of protection coming down all around me, scooping up under my feet, moving all through me and all around me, protecting me on every single angle, body, mind, and soul. I also watch my thoughts because I know that the number one way a psychic attack takes place is in the mind. And I mean that because what is spirit? It can be a person without a body. It can be an entity from a different dimension. But without a meat suit on, it's pure thought form. It's pure idea. So the number one way that entities, negative attacks, psychic attacks will really mess with you is through your mind, the power of your thoughts. It will make it feel like you can't sleep. You can't eat, loss of appetite. It's scattered mind. It's crazy what it will do to you if you don't know how to protect yourself. So the greatest thing that you can do is be mindful, stay present, actually pay attention to what's going through your head, right? Is it those self-defeating thoughts? Because guess what? That's a vibration, and there are things that can come in on that vibration. Confusion, hate, like I said, all of that, bitterness, anger, things that we can't let go of, open you up to those low vibrational attacks that then become part of the, oh my God, I feel like I'm going insane, or I can't think straight, all of that. That's part of what can happen. And what's interesting, I got a story for you guys. This one was interesting. So this last summer, I went to Ireland and I went to England. And when I was in England, I had the privilege of going to Stonehenge and Avebury, the Stonehenge Stone Circle and the Avebury Stone Circle. And personally, I'm gonna be honest, I found the Avebury Stone Circle a lot stronger, more potent than Stonehenge, but it blew me away. Both spots did, and both of them are on the same ley line, but two completely different fields of energy and how it felt and how we even experienced it. So when we were in Avebury, it was my friend Catherine and my friend Carol. My friend Carol lives there. It was my friend Catherine and I from Calgary that went to go with Carol to Avebury. So Carol doesn't really know what to believe spiritually, whereas Catherine and I, we both pray. She's Catholic, I'm Christian. Bring it, let's go. We got the power of prayer. We got our God's armor on. We're good. Well, it was like Carol didn't want none of it. When it came to, okay, before our feet hit the ground, let's say a prayer. Let's hold hands and say a prayer of protection so nothing messes with us. Carol's like, oh, no. I don't need that. I'm fine. I don't believe that. I'm fine. So I kind of argued about it. I'm like, okay, it can really mess with you. You know, I'm not kidding you, Carol. It can mess with you if you don't have God's armor on. And Catherine says to me, oh, let's just do our own little prayer. So we went off. We did our own little prayer. And I got to tell you, it was like from the moment Carol put her feet on the ground, she was sick. She was sick. She was sick with some sort of flu, maybe even COVID. I don't know because I've never had it. She was really sick right up until I left England. 10 days later, she was still sick. And it was from the moment we got there, which I found really interesting because negative energy can also influence your immune system. If you do not have that shield up, well, where do pathogens and viruses come from? Outside of you. They have to make it through your auric field in order to enter your body and influence it or make you sick and take it over, right? So she wasn't wearing her armor of God like we were. And so she got sick, really sick. And she was not right. It was like Carol wasn't Carol. For the 3 days that we were at Avebury, it was just really bizarre. So it messed with her. And not only can negative energy mess with us, so can geographical energy. And I realized that when I went to England, because I've lived in Canada my whole life. That was my very first time in Europe. And everything in Canada is built as wood structure or cement. And it's not stone and mortar like it is in England. Well, Canada feels it's not as haunted as other places in the world. And I noticed that when I went to England and stepped off the plane and went, whoa, there's a lot of dead people here. There's a lot of energy that is stamped here. Well, that's because they don't burn down, break down, bulldoze their properties. They preserve it. It's part of their heritage. Part of why England is because of all the old castles and buildings and stone streets. And, it's because of that it's also haunted. Because when you demolish buildings, you demolish the energetic imprint that belonged to that building. Just like you have a unique energy signature that's unique to you, so do geographical places. Because what comprises your signature of you? Well, that's your DNA, your RNA, your thoughts, what you eat, what you do, your patterns, your genetics, all of that stuff is only unique to you. And how you look at life, that's all a part of your signature. Well, everything that a building has been through, all the people that go through it leave an energy behind in a place. And over time, if it's not destroyed or cleansed, it builds up, it builds up, it builds up. And so in England, I've got to say, it's probably one of the most haunted places I've ever experienced. But I understand why. It's because of how old and the imprint. No one has come by and demolished it, cleansed it, anything like that. So it retains its energy. Now here's the things with us. If we decide to stay the same and not cleanse our energy and break down our patterns and clean up our genetics, that's when we're doomed to repeat the same patterns that came before us. So just like what you put in your body plays a role in your field of energy, so do your genes, obviously. And you may have heard me say this before, but it blows my mind that the Bible knew about epigenetics how many years ago, because it says in the Bible, the sins of the father are passed down 7 generations. And it was after the Holocaust that epigenetics, which is the study of intergenerational trauma, it was through the Holocaust and studying the DNA of the survivors that they realized, oh my goodness, look, that genetic breakup here 7 generations ago is still affecting 7 generations down here now, right? So just like trauma can be passed down, and we will see it through behaviors, we'll see it through disease, all of it. We can also see gifts that are passed down as well, gifts and abilities. And that's why we'll see families of doctors, families of nurses, or families of sexual abuse and alcoholism is passed down until someone comes along and says, okay, I know what my mission is. My mission is to come and clean it up so that no one else, including my great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren that I'll never even meet, don't experience that reality. Because when we change ourselves, we literally change the timeline, the reality, and everybody else who's vibrating on it. We change their lives and ours. So it's time to break patterns, because once you become aware of what needs to shift, it will keep coming up because the universe speaks to us in patterns, in numbers, in energy. It does. And if you think about it, the language of the universe is also binary code, 1s and 0s. That's the math of the universe. So of course it's going to speak to us in angel numbers, repetitive numbers. So you may be at the stage in your spiritual awakening where you're seeing 1111 or 444. I encourage you, look it up. Each number has a different vibration. I can feel my numbers. The number 1 feels completely different to me than the number 4 or the number 7. I see my letters and numbers and colors. I can even taste them. I have a salty 7. It's the weirdest thing. And a spicy 5. It tastes like cinnamon hearts. So that's how heightened my senses are that they cross. Okay, Steve says they could have told me to read the fine print because that was not fun. Yeah. The clearing of trauma. No, it never is, because it feels like yours, but it's not. It's just passing through. So remember that. When you're clearing familial trauma, you're going to feel it like it's yours. But remember that it's not. And when you detach, practice non-attachment, become the observer. Don't absorb the trauma. Observe the trauma. Because really, there's no point in continuing to feel it through your body over and over again. It's better to observe and understand than to absorb and then try and find a way to release it, because emotions are energy in motion. And what happens when energy in motion gets trapped? It creates tumors in our body. It creates diseases, dis-ease in our body, right? Breakdowns. And I know that because I can see disease. How does disease show up to me? It shows up in the auric field, and it'll show up in a person's auric field before it even shows up in their body, because everything's energy, including the breakdown of the system that is inevitably creating the disease, right? So it shows to me like a break in their energy field, almost like a darkness shooting out of them, where there should be light and color. If there was something wrong with my shoulder, it'd almost be blank in that one section. And it's like, oh, okay, what happened to that? And then I start asking questions. I open their book and I start going, okay, what happened to that shoulder? And I start getting answers. Because remember, the answers, all of us are connected to those answers. It's just who's asking, who's quieting their mind from the radio static that's out there and the noise, because there's a lot of noise in this universe coming from everything. It's when we quiet our mind, get still, Get into that divine alignment. Turn on the radio station that we want to hear. Who do you want to hear? Who do you want to hear from? You want to hear from Jesus? You just turn on that radio station. Ask and ye shall receive, right? You got to turn on the radio station for your guardian angels, because they're not allowed to play music unless you turn it on and ask. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, they're not allowed to intervene unless it's a matter of life and death and you're just about to kick it and it's not your time. Then they can swoop in and save you. But other than that, you have to invoke their guidance and their strength and their wisdom and their protection. You have to invoke it. So definitely don't forget to ask for it. And I will say, the highest level of spiritual protection that I have ever come across actually came from my mother. I could see evil and sense it right from a young age. And it would scare me to the point where I couldn't sleep all night. And so my mom made me memorize a prayer for protection. And I will share it with you. I'm going to put it in the email when I send out this recording. And say it out loud, it'll give you goosebumps. When you say this prayer with power and authority in your voice, and you know the light that is flowing through you, it's got to scatter. It has to go. It absolutely has to listen and has to leave. And I promise you that it works. I'm going to tell you a little freaky story about that. And then we're going to go into a healing and protection meditation. But I have to tell you about the power of prayer. And I don't think I've shared this little experience before. So I've done quite a few ride-alongs with the Calgary Police Service. And one night I was doing a ride-along in a very, very sketchy area in town. And one of the calls that we got was this woman who had stabbed her boyfriend with a turkey fork, you know, the ones that it looks like a pitchfork, basically. She had stabbed her boyfriend repeatedly, and the police were called. So we show up, and this woman swears she's Beelzebub, and that is her pitchfork. And so put handcuffs on her. She won't give us a name, won't tell us anything, won't identify herself. She got no ID on her. So we put her in the back of the cop van, and we can't bring her to the police station because she is so out of it, nuts, whatever you want to call it, crazy, because that's what she was. Like, everything out of her mouth was dark and insane and not of this world. And she was so quick and witty to answer with it too, that it was kind of freaky. So anyways, we can't bring her to the police station because they won't take her to jail in that state. So we have to take her to the hospital and wait for the mental ward to take custody of her. So the police have to do, including myself, because I'm on the ride along, we have to do something called continuity, where we have to stay with the prisoner until they're handed over to the hospital. So we're going to be sitting there for a while. Anyways, so this woman is got her hands handcuffed behind her back, and she's sitting on a bench. And I was across the room standing by the door with the police officer. And I say to the police officer, I said, she's possessed. I say, you watch. She's not kidding. She's possessed. You watch. So she's sitting there just looking down at her feet like this. And I start praying. I start praying the prayer that I'm going to send you. The one that my mother taught me how to rebuke Satan and all his little croonies out of here in an instant. So this woman is sitting there with her hands behind her back, looking down. All of a sudden, she starts rocking back and forth, faster and faster. Suddenly, she looks up at me and she screams, "You pray for me, bitch? You pray for me?" And lunged at me. She actually lunged at me. Please keep in mind, I was praying inside my head. I had not said a thing out loud. There was no way that this woman knew that I was praying for her, other than she knew, because those demons knew, and they were going. And anyways, the police officer literally had to grab her and put her back down on the bench. And so I just stood there praying, praying and praying and praying and praying until she went like this, laid down on the bench and went to sleep and was peaceful. And it was quite the experience for me to have, because it showed me that, yeah, this prayer works. It absolutely works. So I've exercised really dark things out of people using it. So it is a shield and armor. Now, I had someone say to me, they go, well, I said your mom's prayer and I still feel haunted. I still feel like there's something on me. She goes, it doesn't work. Your mom's prayer doesn't work. So I prayed and I asked, okay, what's going on? And that's when I heard, because she doesn't know the channel. She doesn't know the channel. She doesn't know God in that capacity. That's when I asked her, how deep is your faith? Because that matters. Your belief systems matter. The same way in the astral field, if you want to travel, you travel at the speed of thought. It's also your belief systems that will get you pulled right back into your body. Because if you get scared or you believe that you are in danger, you'll get sucked back in and not be able to get out again until you blast past that fear and that belief system. So belief systems really, really do matter, especially when you're praying. So the greatest way that I connect, if I'm asking, we'll say Jesus, for example, if I'm asking Jesus for something and I'm praying, I'm visualizing him sitting in front of me. He could be having a coffee with me and we're chatting and I'm hearing the words. All of a sudden, I'm starting to hear the words. It's the same thing with someone who has passed over. All I have to do is tune into their vibrational frequency, and all of a sudden their story unfolds and I start seeing what their life was about. And then I can connect with the essence, the spirit of who they are, right? So we're all different channels. We are channels for divinity to flow through and to. It's just who knows it, because we get so stuck in this 3D reality that we don't pay attention or spend that much time in those higher dimensions that are your belief systems, that are guided by your belief systems, that are connected through your belief systems, right? If you don't know what to believe, if you don't know your truth or who you serve or why you're here or what your mission is, get into that. Get meditating. Quiet your mind and start asking those deep questions. Because I promise you, there is a voice that will answer you back when you quiet your mind. Your higher self, your guidance team, your angels, your spirit guides, you've got a whole team. So do I. So start working with them. Start tuning into that channel. Visualize them, and it brings them closer to you. So, I wanted to talk about feeding your spiritual soul for a second. Changing very quickly your energy, your physical energy. One of the things that I will do to very quickly shift my energy is I'll watch my breathing. Am I breathing from here? Or am I breathing from here? I will start to drop into my breath. And as I do, close my eyes and envision the breath being completely golden light flowing through my body and breathing out all heaviness, all stress. Because your thoughts can very quickly change your state of vibration, right? If we are feeling and breathing in peace, that's exactly what we are going to exude. Same way, if we're stewing about something, that energy will be out in your field, right? We all know what an angry or upset coworker feels like if you even walk near them. You can feel the bad juju coming from them. It's just like, ugh, right? There's certain people where it's like, no, you keep your energy to yourself. How do you keep yours clean? Change your breath. Protect what you're listening to, what you're watching. Protect your five senses. Put on that armor. Wrap it all around you. And ground yourself in nature. Can't stress that enough. One of the things that I've noticed is a lot of light workers actually suffer from neuropathy, funny enough. And I think it's because our circuits can be overloaded with light or with a higher frequency, I guess, than the average person. But neuropathy is definitely one of the things that I've noticed a lot of light workers suffer from. Same thing with fibromyalgia, or having pains that doctors can't quite put their finger on. It makes you wonder, what are we absorbing for the sake of others, right? So one of the last things that I want to say, because I still want to have some time to meditate with you guys, is there is a vibrational value scale. I'm going to have to find it online, where it shows the energy and the vibration of consciousness. And I think it goes up to 750, which is the ultimate love. And the lower values are like shame and hate and anger and, all of those. Well, science has proven that when people are operating at 1% operating at the level of 500 or more, meaning peace, love, happiness, one person can shift the vibration of up to 750,000 people. Now, at first, that's kind of hard to believe, right? That one person can shift the energy of 750,000 people. But in this day and age, that's nothing. That's simply one YouTube video going viral, one TikTok video going viral, one music video, or even a stadium, right? I know it's not going to fit 750,000 people, but it fits a lot. Think of the power of your words and of music and of sound and how we can shift and raise up. So being positive in mind, body, soul, not just being positive, being peaceful, being joyous, being happy. I promise you, you can shift a whole room simply by walking in it because you glow. One thing that I thought was funny, I learned something from 50 Cent when I came across one of his interviews. I watched it for a couple seconds, and apparently he wrote a book, and he wrote about this in his book. So he was sitting around a table with a bunch of people and Bruce Willis. It was the first time he met Bruce Willis. And apparently 50 Cent is very observant. And one thing that he noticed was that any time Bruce Willis spoke, he would lower his voice really low and talk slow and in a whisper, and never raise his voice to be heard. And 50 Cent asked him after everybody left, okay, I noticed this. Why do you do this? And Bruce Willis said, because when you yell, no one's listening. But when you whisper, you command the attention of everyone who wants to hear what you've got to say. You command their attention instantly. Because when someone is barely audible, what do? You lean in. You lean in to hear. You pay attention. I thought that was rather brilliant. I really did. Because let's take this one step further for all you guys who are parents out there. Think of your kids. When you're yelling and they're yelling, no one's listening. No one's listening. What a waste of powerful energy. What a waste. When you're yelling, think of how exhausted you feel after. It's an expenditure of energy you don't need to give away. It's a waste. They're not listening. But you bring it down to a bare audible. You speak at their level. You gain your attention. And you're not going to have the hissy fits that's causing the big explosions. Because like I said, when people are yelling, no one's listening. And I thought that was pretty brilliant. So there is a lot of stuff out there that we need to be healing from. And I think that awareness is key, and understanding energy and how to work with it, what to do with it, how to read it even, right? How do you know what someone is not saying? You feel it. You'll literally feel it. Pay attention the next time someone is standing in front of you. Actually pay attention to where their energy is hitting your body. Is it hitting you here? Is it hitting you here? Because the different parts of your body will even tell you something about what they're not saying. It's all in how your body interprets that unspoken language. And it is like learning a new language. So let's heal some of that heaviness that is out there in the world and maybe landed on you or your family. We're going to adjust that. And like I said at the beginning, we are all quantumly connected when we come together in this space and time to do that. And for anybody who's watching this video tomorrow or the next day, whenever you watch it, understand that we've created this grid in the unified field. We've already come together, and as many people as there are on this class right now tuning in to this energy, we're creating a grid that will be literally built upon every time someone watches it, because it's already there. It's already waiting for you to heal from. I hope that makes sense. I see everybody as a pillar of light when we're doing these meditations. And in my mind, I reach out to you and I offer my hand and I feel yours in mine. So go ahead, get comfortable. And actually, before we go and dive in and start our meditation, our closing meditation, is there any questions that anyone wanted to ask me regarding what I've said here tonight? I'll give it a second for anybody who wants to ask me anything, and then we will go ahead. And if not, Debbie, I have a lot, but we would be here for days. That's okay. That's okay. So you know what I'll do, Debbie? Why don't we, if you want, you can ask me right now. However, I was just thinking, why don't we do our meditation? And then after the meditation, I will take as long as it takes to answer your guys' questions. And I mean it. That's the benefits of coming to the live questions. You can ask me your questions and I can directly answer you. So just don't put up big personal questions in a public chat. I wouldn't do that. But if they're questions pertaining to what we've spoken here about tonight, absolutely bring it on. I will answer as many as I can. Okay, guys, let's do this. So go ahead, get comfortable. And before you close your eyes, I want you to look around your room. Looking to the right, looking to the left, bringing your awareness back to the screen in front of you. And just become aware of your surroundings. And now in your mind's eye, and with your eyes closed, I want you to look around the room and bring the image of where you are into your mind's eye and see yourself sitting there in the room with your eyes closed. A little mental exercise helps to strengthen, open, and release all blockages from the third eye. Now begin by taking a nice, slow, deep breath in through your nose and pour it out through your mouth. And with your eyes closed, I want you to look directly above your head and see a beautiful golden light, an orb of pure creation, pure divine vibrational frequencies that are all perfect for you to heal. Divinely selected, each one, each frequency is within this golden orb, specific to your needs, your ailments, any limiting beliefs or thoughts that need to be cleared. I want you to see this crystalline golden orb above your head and use it to clear any and all blockages from your mind, body, and soul, from your genes, your DNA, RNA. This beautiful orb will clear it all and realign your energy and we set the intention to surround ourselves with our guardian angels. Each one of us has a team standing by, ready to step up, ready to form a force field of light with each and every one of us, all across the globe. So we ask our angels to form that unified field all around us. To guard, guide, and protect us. And to help us on our healing journey. So take a nice deep breath in. And as you look up and see that beautiful orb above you, I want you to inhale it in through the crown of your head. See it entering the middle of your mind. And as you exhale, I want you to explode that light into all four corners of your mind. Breathe in and see that light behind your eyes accentuate and get brighter and brighter. Breathe it down through your face and exhale out all tension and stress, relaxing your eyes, relaxing your ears and your scalp. Feel that energy as you breathe it into the pores of your face, revitalizing your skin. Exhaling out all impurities. As you breathe, pull that light, that beautiful essence, down through your throat. Exhaling out all harshness in your words. And as you breathe in, feel that divine alignment of knowing exactly what to say, divine wisdom in your words. Breathe it in and expand that intention all through your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, and your wrists. Take a nice, big, deep breath of beautiful cleansing light and breathe it down through your arms and out of your hands. And in your mind's eye, see your hands before you. And with eyes closed, look at your hands. See the golden light radiating out of both palms and shooting from your fingertips. Feel that golden light as it reaches your hands, installing blessings into everything you touch. Pulling it back up into your heart now. Take a moment and breathe that light deep inside of your lungs, expelling all darkness, all grief on the exhale. See it leaving your body. Transmuted with every breath as this intelligent life force energy knows exactly what you need. Take a deep breath and let's activate the vibrational frequency of pure love and support all down through your back. Feel it as it drips down every vertebrae, lighting up the central nervous system, healing all nerves, dissolving all anxieties, dissolving all disease. Breathe it down and around your hips. Breathing it into your belly. See that light touch the core of who you are. Dissolving all blockages that prevent you from knowing your truth. You know who you are, and you know how you serve. So exhale out all falsehoods, all heaviness. Dissolving fears and regrets as you see your liver light up in perfect health. Breathe that light down each leg, healing the bones. Breathe it into the marrow, your blood supply, and exhale that light out the bottoms of your feet. And when you see your body vibrating with iridescent light, love, joy, and happiness, breathe in and feel that peace wrap around you like angel wings. And next, I want you to visualize a double strand of your DNA. See the double helix floating right in front of you. And in your mind's eye, I want you to take your hands of light and place them around the double helix, and see your hands lighting up your DNA. Feel the love for your lineage pour from your hands. Feel the forgiveness from your heart begin to flow straight into the double helix. And I want you to see a light coming from your highest mind, connecting you with the wisdom of your elders and ancestors. Breathe in and allow deep forgiveness to take place within the bloodline of your heritage. Feel the release as you allow deep understanding to replace bitterness and hatred.
See your parents before you. And I want you to see them surrounded with that same golden light that flows through you. Send it to them. And see it move up the line, up through 14 generations, through everyone who came before you, 14 and higher. And now let's bless the future generations, the ones who are quantumly connected through your DNA. I want you to send ripples of light wave healing down through the generations who come after you. Blessing the little ones and the ones you will never meet. The generations yet to come. Let us fill them with our wisdom, with our love and understanding, so they may step into this world completely clear, clean, and ready to complete their mission. And within this unified field, within this circle of angels that surround you, that connects us, in your mind's eye, I want you to visualize someone in your life, in your family, that needs healing or prayers. I want you to see them standing in the circle we have created. And let us unite our love to amplify the healing in the perfect amounts that your loved one needs. I send them the highest healing. A deep peace and understanding. And the highest layer of armor and protection. Shifting the reality of all those involved or that needed healing along with them. Take another nice, deep, cleansing, clearing, deep breath. And feel that light accentuate through every part of your being. Pouring that light and your loving intentions from the highest reality into our 3D world. with a heart full of gratitude. We thank our angels and all those who are looking over us in spirit, our Almighty Creator. And so it is. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. I know that I went a little bit over in time in this class, but I'd rather, if anyone has to go, I completely understand. But if you do have any questions, I will stay on and answer as many as I can. Someone had asked, did you share your mother's prayer of protection? No, I'm going to write it out. It's extremely powerful to say, and I say it with such power and authority that it shakes me to my core. And it's amazing. It really is. But I have a hard time saying it in front of people without using it, right? It's like waving around a knife. I don't know. So I'm going to write it out. I'm going to put it in the email that I'm sending it to you guys. And definitely keep it printed out. I know people, and I think this is such an honor I know a lady who's made it into like a painting that she printed out, that she made one and then got it all printed out for all of her kids and grandkids and everything. And she called it a mother's prayer of protection. And I was like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Like if my mom knew, because that's such a private prayer, it's something that I'm going to be honest, I never thought I would share with people because it's such a powerful, it's my go-to, this is my armor, I'm not messing around. I may have a potty mouth, but I swear I know how to pray. I know how to pray and I know who my boss is. So it's my prayer that is my go-to, and it's an honor to share with you guys, but I didn't know that I would ever be sharing it with anybody. So anyways, I will put it in, I'll send it to you guys in the email. And thank you. She says that was beautiful. Thank you, Steve, for posting all my classes. I really, really, really appreciate that. Do you plan on having any more online remote viewing courses? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I'm probably only going to do one this year, one online one, because they are 4 weeks. They are every Monday from 7 to 8:30 for 4 weeks. And it takes a lot out of me because I teach both in person and online. And so I'm always teaching either in person or online each week. Sometimes I do both. Like this week, no, I mean, it's next week or something. Anyways, I have a week where I'm doing both online and in person. And then Thursdays I work late. So when I do the online remote viewing course, the 4-week one, it takes a lot of planning for me in my schedule and stuff to be able to commit to it. So I think I'm only going to be able to do one this year. Oh, Steve, I love you for putting up my mom's prayer. Thank you so much. I'll probably only do one, and I think it might be in the fall. I have a really busy summer, and I don't know how many classes I'm going to be doing, but I have some good news for you. I'm taking you guys back to England this summer. I'm going to Paris. I really, really, really wanted to go see the tunnel where Princess Di was killed. Well, I didn't know I wanted to see it until I was told, oh, we're going to be in the area. It's like, you're kidding me. I can get to the bottom of what happened. I can totally get to the bottom of what happened. So I'm going to get to the bottom of what happened to Princess Di. So anyways, Louise,
Love you, Patricia from Lou on the Sunshine Coast in Australia, 1111. Oh, I love that. Thank you so, so, so much for joining in all the way from Australia. This is what I mean, you guys. We have a grid. There's a field of energy that we create when we're all over. Like I said, I visualize literally a pillar of light, and I connect with it, with all of you guys in that quantum field. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Was there anything else that I wanted to say? Anything else that you guys wanted to know? Oh yeah, I'm taking back to England, Paris. Carol wants to go back and do Avebury, but I told her she's got to pray with me this time because my friend Catherine won't be going with us. So I don't know, unless she's really into the power prayer with me. Avebury sounds a little daunting when it's just the two of us, but so I'll have to put on lots of armor for the two of us if she insists. But anyways, I thank you guys so, so, so much for watching and joining me here tonight. And sorry about the scatteredness. I'm not sure if you guys picked up on it, but I sure did. And I could definitely feel the difference of when I was wearing the scarf and when I wasn't wearing the scarf, because my transmission is definitely not clear when there's something blocking it. So you guys can see that stuff works. Take her down to Kelly's Avebury. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. There are different parts, even in Canada, that are absolutely amplified. Vortexes, and our friend Kelly has one. So Gail, you noticed? Yeah, I noticed too. Really sorry about that, you guys. I have a pile of notes that would have kept me on track if I would have looked down and read them, but you know what? I truly believe you guys were supposed to get the information that you got here tonight. It always, Spirit has a way of doing that. I, have a plan, but the universe also has a plan. So I hope you've enjoyed it regardless. Anyways, okay. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I'll be sending this out to you guys first thing tomorrow. So stay blessed, and I will see you at the next one, you guys. Take care.